Let's see if it works. There we go. All right, Trig, Chapter 2 review. And my pen. All right, so with this one right here, I have to find my scratch paper now. All right, there we go. All right, so for this one, we're going to go each number. We're going to go through each number now. So if you guys have a question, please speak up. For this, so right here, I'm going to start off with sine of A. That means A is my reference angle from right here. And for this, I'm going to put this on here. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is what? What is it, Z?
Adjacent over hypotenuse.
Adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent?
Opposite over adjacent.
There we go, opposite over adjacent. Okay. So now let's take a look. So sine of A, so that means A is my reference. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So my opposite is 24 over my hypotenuse, which is 30. And in my handy dandy calculator, I'm going to go through here. So I'm going to have this, and it goes with, do a little zooming over here. There you go. All right, so I'm going to start off with 24 over 30. So 2, 4, control divide over 30. My calculator will reduce it for me. So I get 4 over 5. So sine of A is equal to?
B.
There it is. B. All right. Number 2. So right here, if you read through this instructions, it actually says that you need to draw out a triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. There you go. So I'm going to draw a triangle here. And it says my right angle is located at C. There's C. Here's A. And here's B. So put in where it goes. So that means that we're trying to find cosecant of A when little b is 40. So if this is big B, little b is across from it. Yes?
Do you have to draw it exactly like that? Like the C right there?
The C has to go there. You could have A and B flipped.
Okay.
So you could have A here and B here. It's still going to be fine. Okay? All right, so now right here, little b. So little b is always across from big B. So that means that this one over here is going to be little b, so that's 40. This one here is little c, which is over here. That is 85. So that means that this one over here that I do not have, I would call that one what? A. Little a, right?
Yes.
Now, cosecant of A, so that means that A is my reference angle. A is my reference angle. I need to have this value over here. I'm going to use Pythagorean Theorem to try and find this. Remember the shortcut I gave you is going to be A is equal to the square root of?
B squared minus C squared.
Nope.
No, B squared plus
C squared.
It's C squared minus B squared. C squared minus B squared. So if I have my A squared plus B squared equals C squared, still to get A by itself, I would subtract B squared, right? So A squared is equal to C squared minus B squared. And then I would square root to try and get it to this. So from here, so A is equal to the square root of C, which is 85 squared minus 40 squared. Let's do that in my calculator now. So square root of 85 squared minus 40 squared is 75. So I get 75. So A is going to be 75. And we know that, let's see, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, right? So this is a reciprocal of sine. So let's start with sine. So sine of A is equal to what over what? Opposite over hypotenuse. 75 over 85. Let's reduce that. So 75 over 85. So it's 15 over 17. Now, cosecant of A, isn't that the reciprocal of sine?
Yes.
If it's the reciprocal of sine, wouldn't that just be 17 over 15?
Yes.
So, my answer is A. That make sense? Okay. All right, so let's take a look at number 2. Oh, I'm sorry, number 3. So, on number 3 here, I have secant of B. So, secant of B, so I need to draw another triangle here. Let's see. Having technical difficulties here. There you go. All right. So, drawing another triangle. C, A, B. So, for this one right here, it says that little a is 5. So, that's over here. Little b is 7. That's that over there. So, which one am I missing?
C.
C. So, I have to find the hypotenuse here. So, it's going to be C is equal to the square root of B squared plus A squared. These are A, B, right?
Yes.
So it's A squared plus B squared. So it's going to be C is equal to the square root of 5 squared plus 7 squared. Now, do I have any decimals in my answer here? In multiple choice, I don't have any decimals, do I? So now, that means I'm going to end up with a radical here. So, I need to actually do some work for this one. Now, this is 25 and that's 49. So C is equal to the square root of 74. 25 plus 49 gives me 74. Now, square root of 74 goes there. We're looking for secant. So secant is the reciprocal of cosine. That's cosine. So let's start with cosine. So cosine of B. So cosine of B. So starting from right here, this is my reference angle. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, right?
Yes.
My adjacent is 5. My hypotenuse is radical 74. So secant of B, that's the reciprocal, right? So it's going to be radical 74 over 5. So my answer is D. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Let's take a look at number 4. On number 4, I am trying to do the cofunction. Now, cofunction means that both of them together have to add up to 90. There's been an issue with a lot of people not understanding that part. So now, both of them together have to add up to 90. So if I'm starting off with secant, what goes with secant? Cosecant. So cosecant. So cosecant. So it's going to be, I'm going to write out my formula. So it's going to be secant of A is equal to cosecant of 90 minus A. You guys remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So if I'm doing that, it's going to be secant of 41.5 is equal to cosecant of 90 minus 41.5. So on my calculator, I'm going to have 90 minus 41.5, 48.5. So it's going to be secant of 41.5 is equal to the cosecant of 48.5. And these are going to be degrees. I didn't mark degrees, which I should have. So it's 48.5 degrees. So my answer is B. Question? Okay. All right, number 5. On number 5, we're trying to find a solution now. Solution. We know that the cofunctions, both of them together, have to do what? Add up to 90. They both together have to add up to 90. So I'm going to use that information to be able to solve for this one. So I'm going to have that. I'm going to have theta plus, so I have this theta and this. Theta plus 32 has to equal 90. So that angle plus that angle there together has to equal 90. How many thetas? 2 theta plus 32 is equal to 90. Minus 32. 58. Divide by 2. Theta is 29 degrees. My answer is A. Now, number 6. So, on number 6, can I do that one in my calculator?
Yes.
Why can I do that one in my calculator? Is there something, there's a certain type we cannot do in the calculator. What type can we not do? Not the equal one. Starts with R, ends in reciprocal. Reciprocal. So I cannot do secant, cosecant, and cotangent. If I get any of those, I can't put it directly in the calculator. I have to do the left side and right side. But this one right here, since I don't have either of those, can I plug that directly in the calculator?
Yes.
Let's try that. All right, let me adjust this right here. So let me see. So I'm going to have tangent 35. 35 degrees. Close is going to be less than, so it's control equals. We'll bring up the other symbols. And it's tangent of 8 degrees. And my answer is false. Is that easy?
Yeah.
There we go. Are we good? No questions? Okay. Let's keep going then. So now for number 7. For number 7 here, can I put in my negative 20, 25?
No.
I got to find the, what's it called? Coterminal, right? So I need this one to be between 0 and 360, don't I?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start finding the coterminal of that. So negative 20, 25 plus 360. Nope. Do it again. Plus 360. Nope. Keep adding 360 until I get in between.
Yes, 130.
So I get 135. So now on my unit circle, so I'm looking for secant, right?
Yes.
So let's take a look. So secant is 1 over x. So it's the reciprocal of this one. 135 is right here. So reciprocal of x, so I start off with negative radical 2 over 2. Negative radical 2 over 2. I'm going to do the reciprocal of that, which is going to turn into negative 2 over radical 2. Can I leave it like that? No. What do I got to do? Say rationalize. Rationalize. So I'm going to get negative 2 radical 2 over 2, right? Okay, so what's going to happen to my 2's?
They're going to cancel.
So I get just negative radical 2. So my answer is going to be D, right? All right, for this problem right here, let's see. I have, that's going to be cosecant of 30, or 330. So 330, that's on my unit circle, right? So let's find 330
Right there.
right there. And we're looking for cosecant, and cosecant is, that's reciprocal of the y value, right?
1/y.
So it's reciprocal of the y value. So at 330, my y value is negative 1/2. So the reciprocal of negative 1/2 is going to give me negative 2 over 1. So my answer is negative 2, right there. All right, let's keep going then. Now, I'm going to show you guys how to do this in the calculator. Now, which ones can I not do in the calculator?
The ones with
No reciprocals, right? So secant, cosecant, and cotangent. So I'm going to show you both ways on this. So, showing you both ways on this. So I'm going to start with this one. So let's do this first. So make sure I'm on there. So it's going to be 3 times. Now, says tangent of 60. Here's 60. Tangent is y over x. Make sure you see this. Y over x. So it's going to be radical 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. And that value is going to be squared plus 3 sine at 30. Here's 30 right here. Here's 30. The sine is 1/2. Squared minus cosine at 360. So now 360 is going to be where on the unit circle? At 0, right? It goes all the way back up to 0.
Yes.
So it's going to be right here. Cosine is 1. So I'm going to put in my 1 squared. Now, before I do this part right here, I'm going to go off to the side and do this. I can't divide the fractions. I have to multiply by the reciprocal, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be radical 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. That just gives me radical 3. So that gives me radical 3. So it's going to be 3 times radical 3 squared plus... Now, what is 1/2 squared? 1 what? 1/4, right? Yeah, 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4. So it's going to be 3 times 1/4 minus 1 squared? 1. Okay, so now let's do this. What happens when I square a radical? It goes away, right? So that's going to be 3 times 3. So I have 9 plus, multiply that out, I get 3 over 4 minus 1, right? Okay, so on my calculator, 9 plus 3 over 4 minus 1.
35 over 4.
There we go, 35 over 4. So my answer is A. Now, let's try and do this just straight by the calculator. So I know there's no one in here asleep right now. Everyone's going to be awake, sitting up right now, hopefully. Okay. All right. So let's just put in the calculator as is. So 3, make sure you put in the times. 3 times tangent of 60 degrees. Close. Now, when I do my square, the square has to go outside the parentheses. Plus 3 times sine of 30 degrees. Close that. Square it again. Minus cosine 360. degrees, close it, and square it. So it should look a whole lot like that. Now, how do I want my answer? A fraction. Let's tell the calculator to put it in a fraction. You guys remember? Menu, number, and approximate to fraction. And then I hit enter. There we go, 35 over 4. So I get the exact same answer here, don't I?
Yeah.
Okay. What's wrong?
It gives me the answer.
All right, so number 10. Now 10's another problem. Can I enter that one in the calculator? Say yes.
Yes.
Why can't I? No reciprocals. Now if it was a reciprocal, how would I have to do it? Do you guys recall? You would enter your left side, check your answer. Then you would enter your right side, look at your answer, and compare them. Okay, so if they're equal, you would put true. If they're not equal, you would put false. But this one, we could enter it in. So I'm going to go with slightly over this way some more. Cosine 180 degrees plus, oh, I closed the parentheses, plus 30 degrees, close, equals cosine of 180 degrees, close, times, make sure you put in the times there, cosine 30 degrees, yes, close, minus sine 180, 180 degrees, close, times sine 30. Close. Enter. My answer is true. Isn't that nice,
Yes.
Simon? Okay, why do I keep reminding you about the fact that you can't enter those certain ones in? Do you think you're going to see that on the test?
Yes.
Uh-huh, you're probably going to see that on the test. Okay, Scotty Bear, check your numbers.
Cosine 180 degrees plus 30 degrees equals cosine 180.
Okay, number 11, secant. So now I have to try and find this on the unit circle. So secant is a reciprocal identity. So reciprocal, so now secant is the reciprocal of 1 over x, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be my cosine, isn't it? So let me slide up a little bit. So that's the cosine. So where's cosine going to be negative at? What quadrant?
Oh, quadrant 2.
2 and
3.
2 and 3. So now I only have a couple different combinations. So the reciprocal of negative 1/2 would give me negative 2, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So the reciprocal of this one or this one. So do you think it's going to be this one?
No.
No, because that's probably going to have a radical 3 in it,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah. But this one, let's try this one right here. Let's try the reciprocal of negative radical 2 over 2. So negative radical 2 over 2. If I do the reciprocal, it's going to be negative 2 over radical 2. And from there, I have to do what? Say rationalize. There we go. So negative 2 radical 2 over, and then negative radical 2, isn't it?
Yes.
There it is. There's my negative radical 2, isn't it? So therefore, it's going to work at this value, isn't it?
135.
135. Is there another place that's going to have the same value?
Yeah.
Right there, 225.
225 is my other one that has the same value. So my answers are 135 and 225. There we go. All right, so number 12. Okay, 12. Use a calculator to find the function value. So, plug in the calculator. So, cosecant. Seven degrees, 15. Okay, so it says to 7 decimal places if necessary. 7.923992. Nope, not that one. Is it that one? Nope. That one? There it is. 9239 blah blah blah. There we go. So you have to look really closely at the decimals on this. Number 13. So this is going to be the last one for this video. So for number 13 right here, whenever it asks for the angle, you have to do the... Let's try this again. When I look for the angle, I have to do the... Everyone should say inverse right now.
Oh, inverse, yeah.
Okay, hey class, let's try this again. When I'm looking for the angle, I have to do the...
Inverse.
Thank you. So, inverse cosine. Inverse cosine of 0.019227951. Enter. So it's going to be 88.89.
Wait,
No, it's 78.
I got 78.
You got
You
that
put an
wrong,
extra
Cosmo.
zero.
I did, didn't I? Oh, dang it, I did. Shame on me.
Shame on you.
Shame on me. I put in a 0.
Uh-oh.
There we go. 78.91.
4.
4.
There we go. So that's going to be this one here. The answer's got to be C.